Corner podcast where the real fans meet. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your favorite podcast, your favorite wrestling podcast, at least, the Champions Corner podcast. We in the building. It's your favorite host, Mr. Ron G, Mr. Highlights, highlighting the greatest things, some things I don't like. But I'm with my brother, Mr. BJ, the professor. How you doing, man?
All right, how's everyone else doing? Hey, man, we get close to WrestleMania. You know, the road is almost there. Again, still on the fast lane. Still no roadblocks. Looking pretty good on the way.
Here you go.
All right, listen. Classics.
But, yeah, definitely, WrestleMania came up fast. Maybe it always does, but I don't know. It seems like it's coming up real fast. But
And you know, they delayed it this year.
yeah, it got delayed. It's still coming fast. And we don't have every match set yet. And we will talk about that. Because like I said, we're going from Raw, NXT, AEW. You know how we do. We had to get that follow-up from Dynasty. Because, Lord, if you saw a Dynasty episode, you saw my thoughts on it. And I'm settled a little bit from that. A little bit. But I still would rather Swerve get that title. You know what I'm saying? But you know where we started? You know we started that Monday Night Raw. Let's see what happened. My biggest thing, to your point, I'm going to start with this one. To your point, Jey and Gunther, that might, with
Jey
that
Gunther.
promo from main event Jey Uso, that sounds like a main event, for real.
It is a main event.
From last week with with Bloody Jimmy, and now we got this promo from Jey Uso. Some people mad at it a little bit, mad at him being calm on this promo. A little calm. He got a little intense, but you know what I'm saying? He didn't straight attack Gunther. Some people hating on it, but I like it. I enjoy it because he putting fear in Gunther, and nobody really does that. I mean, Damien Priest was kind of doing that in the fall, 2024, a little bit, but he done hit Gunther with a whole different view of him, and I don't think Gunther's ready.
Oh, you don't think Gunther's ready?
No, because what he said, you know, how he said, I'm a pray to the Lord of what a man I'm gonna become.
I like
forgive
that
me
line
for the
too.
man
I
I'm
thought
gonna
that was a good line.
become. Because
That was a good line.
Gunther, I'm gonna get you. I got to get you. For me, my brother, my family, I gotta get you. I ain't afraid of you no more, man. You ain't the boogeyman no more. You ain't in my dreams no more. So you gonna be dreaming about me. Come up to WrestleMania. So, and with that, Gunther, you see the look on his face. 'Cause at first he was all smiling, giddy, all up in Jay's face, like, you see what I did last week to your brother? Wait till WrestleMania. I got you. I told you should have quit. I told you. Call the match off. I done told you. But by the end of that promo, Gunther was looking scared himself and like he didn't want no parts of Jey Uso. And even in Sam Roberts had an interview with Gunther after Raw, and he didn't want to talk about Jey at all.
Ooh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. He didn't want to talk about Jey. He didn't want to talk about the match. He didn't want to talk about nothing else. He didn't want to talk about something else, really. He didn't want to talk nothing about Jey.
No.
Because he done woke up the beast. I mean, he had motivation from Jimmy, with the motivation talk Jimmy gave him, but then after last week, bruh, Jey, he on one. He back in right-hand man mode, right? Samoan Savage mode. Main event mode.
Well, he needs to be. You're right about that. That's something I really loved about that promo. If you look at it, he didn't come to the crowd, did he? He came out the entrance ramp, right? Okay, so look at that.
Black.
Right, in all black. The only thing he had with his merch or with the yeet were the shades. He threw that in the crowd. What I loved about this promo is that, you know, Jay's kind of been looked at as one-trick pony. All he does is yeet, blah, blah, blah. This was him stripping down all of that and being bare bones Jey Uso. Like, look, This ain't about yeeting. This ain't about having a good time. This ain't nothing now. This was business, but you made it extremely personal. And now I'm going to look you straight in the face so that way you know who's going to kill you when the time comes at Mania. I loved it. I thought it was kind of weird with the crowd because, they always yeet after Jey. When he's like, my brother in the hospital, yeet. Well, no, we don't want to yeet that. That ain't.
No.
But
it's just the crowd.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you get to see Jey Uso, you want to be a part of that. And so I can't blame the fans, but that wasn't the moment for it.
Yeah, well, I could blame the fans because y'all need to know time and place. All right, calm down, folks. But it was a good promo. It was, you know what? I saw this, and I want to go ahead and mention it. This is playing out like Rocky IV. Never really thought about this. Rocky IV. Rocky, kind of concerned about his opponent, Apollo Creed. Man, forget that opponent. You could beat him. In fact, I'm gonna go beat him. What did Jimmy Uso do? He smacked the crap out of Gunther. Apollo did the same thing to the Russian. God, I can't think of his name. Ivan? Yeah, whatever. The Russian. We're going to call him that.
Drago.
He got in his face all in the press conference and all that. And then the bout happened. It was an exhibition. But the Russian beat the crap out of him. If he dies, he dies was the last words he said about Apollo. Gunther didn't say that, although I kind of wish he did. And in that moment, Rocky knew he had to avenge Apollo's death. Listen, I know Jimmy didn't die, but Jey has to avenge his brother's dismantling.
Yeah, well, that blood was flowing. This
should have been the main event.
That blood was flowing.
This is definitely main event material. I know why it's not getting it because of star power, but this is a travesty to storytelling that this is not a main event.
Yeah, I mean, it really just heated up in the past 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, it should have been heated up a long time ago.
It was all right before, but these last 2 weeks really put it up there. Yeah, because Jey, like I said, he was trying to crowd the yeet down. They was doing the yeet stuff. He was quieting the crowd down with that. He was like, no, this ain't time right there. I love y'all, but this ain't it.
Man, he still kept doing it.
Yeah, but like I said, but he done got back to that mode, man. I got to keep saying that because that's what a lot of people want to see from Jey. Jey came to Raw to be party Jey, yeet Jey, come through the crowd, people's champion Jey. But what happened last week? No, that brought out that Samoan side. He got to represent for the family right here. It ain't party time till we win this championship.
Yeah, job not done.
Like I said, we ain't scared. You see this lineage of this family. We ain't scared of nobody. So a lot of people thought that was weak for Jey to say that, but that takes strength to say that, to even admit that. It takes strength.
To admit weakness or fear? Yeah, it does. It takes a little bit of boldness. Well, let me ask you this question.
And then transfer that energy.
How would you feel if Jey loses?
I'd be really upset.
But what do you think will happen with Jey? Like, does that diminishes the character a little bit?
Yeah. Because you said all this, and then he beat your brother down. I mean, come on, man. It's going to you need a victory after that.
Yeah, it would be very befitting for a sense of a story.
And
Jey has to win.
You never beaten Gunther. Come on now. You got to win this one. This is the one.
Yeah, this is the big moment, right? This is where everything kind of his entire story is not going to be wrapped up in this moment, but everything about Jey builds up to this big moment. Like, this moment was, I guess, I don't know how to put it, but I guess you could say his destiny, right? This is what we kind of grew to watch, hope for some people, maybe not others, but, this is the moment.
Yeah,
Jey pulled the trigger and become the champion he's supposed to be.
Yeah. Because not only has he not beat Gunther, he's had multiple world title shots and he's lost them all.
I think it's 6 in total.
There you go. So this is the one at WrestleMania. Everybody yeeting for you. Everybody hyped for you. You got extra motivation. I mean, come on now. It's put up or shut up. You got to take that name away. I mean, you ain't get the main event anyway, but it's still, you still got to have that world championship at least if you call yourself main event Jey Uso.
Is he mid-event Jey Uso because he's not getting the main event?
I ain't going to say that, man. He main event some stuff. I mean, he has main event some stuff, so I can't say that. I ain't messing with you, man. But I mean, but this promo was it was great. And like I said, the facial and reaction from Gunther sold it all, man. Like I said,
some people realize he woke up something that he probably don't want to deal with.
Yeah. But like I said, some people wanted Jey to beat him down right there for what he did to Jimmy. But this is more calculated, more thought out, more controlled, and you can see his mannerisms, man. It taking him back to when he was like when Roman was messing with his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can see how it's crawling into his shoulders again, like he used to.
Yeah.
You see, that's why I like Jey Uso, because he has those dynamics. He has that dude. I don't know. It's like I can't explain. It's like Hangman, where he has so many ebbs and flows to the point where you can kind of just circle back to where he was, to who he is, and it's I don't know. I can't explain it, but I love this character dynamic. I love where this is going. Gunther did have a look like maybe I woke up a demon I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I don't mind that Jey didn't attack him because we're 2 weeks out. And this is the biggest match of Jey's career, and you don't want to do anything to jeopardize it.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame him for doing that because it makes sense. It ain't like the Cody Rhodes, John Cena thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cody really should have came in and kicked John Cena in the balls at least. But Jey, I can see him being patient because time is due. Right? Like 2 weeks.
Like I said, Gunther been in your mind for months. And now it's time for you to get in his and then have him sweating and worried and don't know what he about to come get into. Like I said, Jey about to take it to another level because like I said, his mannerisms, man, it just you can see how he hold his face like this. He does that. That's mean he's thinking that he don't know what he about to do next. And if the audio listeners, I'm holding my hands to my head. I mean, if you can see Jey after he stopped talking during the promo. You see how he was looking at Gunther and he did that. So that's just he's done that a few times. It's little things you notice, man, from certain people. And that's one of them things that Jey, he in serious mode and he got a lot on his mind and he about to let loose at WrestleMania 41. So I'm ready for it. But I was talking about calculated. So I gotta get to this one, man. This is another calculated person right here. He's a visionary. He's a revolutionary.
Seth, that's a heavy word to use for this.
Freaking Rollins.
No, I guess.
Yes,
I didn't understand this. I didn't understand all of this, honestly.
You didn't understand it?
What do you mean you owes you a favor? Because you didn't stump his head in? Like, what is he going to do, call a favor on Paul Heyman? That was a bit weird to me.
No. To me, what I think he was doing, he was saying, like, who's your real friend, man? Like, who?
Yeah.
Roman wasn't there for you when Solo put you at a table. And I'm the one y'all want to get first before y'all want to CM Punk. So how is CM Punk your best friend? You didn't call him first. But he was going to help him, like, kind of smack him in the face with his handkerchief, pushing him, like, whatever. Talking about how much are you worth, Paul Heyman? And you know why he was doing all of that? He was looking at the ramp. So he's egging somebody to come out. That's all he was doing. Egging somebody to come out. Like, who's really going to come out here and save you right now? I could take away all your problems. I could stomp you in the head. You ain't got to be in nobody's corner. You ain't got to worry about either one of them. So the calculating part is like, he did all that, and he pushed Paul Heyman to the corner. And look who came out CM Punk.
Yeah. And he attacked him, he gave him a stomp. Yeah.
That's showing Paul Heyman this is who your real friend is. So, and he's about to stomp him, like, now you owe me a favor because I showed you, I made a decision for you. So now you owe me a favor. Now, not necessarily he really owes him a favor, but I mean, I'm showing you what's real. And I had to go through these little tactics. I wasn't doing it just to pick on you, Paul Heyman. I'm coming here to show you something.
Yes, but I mean, what is that? Like, still, what does that have to do with anything? Like, that's still Paul Heyman is going to come out with CM Punk because he owes CM Punk the favor, and Paul Heyman said I would do it. Paul Heyman comes out with Roman Reigns because he's just almost legally obligated to come out with Roman Reigns.
Mr. Player.
Hey, what's up?
We were just discussing
What's up?
We were just discussing Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman program. Well, segment.
I had to make sure I was here tonight to keep the professor honest tonight. I had to make sure I was here.
Okay.
No, I'm always honest.
Welcome him in. Welcome number one play in.
Well, I don't know about always being honest. I got a bone to pick on a few episodes ago. I got a bone to pick with you, Professor.
All right, we can go ahead and derive to that. No, let's go to that right now. We got
okay. We'll hold on.
Both guns blazing, lines crossed in the sand. What you got to say?
I heard you correctly. Because maybe it's the lapse in the computer. You never know. I mean, maybe it's just bad Wi-Fi or the PC you might be using. But I thought I heard you say that Naomi actually, I don't want to get your words twisted. So
no, Jay Cargill is right. Naomi's coattails into WrestleMania. That's what I said.
We need to unpack that. We need to unpack that because that is such an unfair statement because it's kind of like Seth Rollins and CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Had it not been for Roman Reigns, neither of these guys would probably have a WrestleMania picture, right? If it hadn't been for this favor that's looming out there, CM Punk would have been like the rest of us, watching from the cheap seats. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about all that. He'll be in that ring now.
He wouldn't have been in the main event. Let's call it like it is. He wouldn't have been in the main event.
I don't disagree with that.
He would kind of probably be like Orton right now. We don't even know who's Orton going to face, right? So,
I gave you an idea. I gave you an idea for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm totally clueless on that one. But I say all that to say is that had Naomi not done what she did to Jade, I think this benefits both people. So I wouldn't say that Jade is benefiting or riding off the coattail of Naomi because let's not sit here and act like Naomi was just the cream of the crop. Like we was just going to just pick her to just be, whoever, right? Let's not do that to the digital audience.
I
mean,
but hang on, wait, hang on. Okay. I want to preface this. A lot. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying Naomi could make that the case because you know what is true? What is true is that every Jay Cargill's appearance at WrestleMania, which was last year and this year, what's the key denominator? Naomi, if not Bianca.
Well,
so Naomi could pull that out her bag and be like, you know what? Maybe if you could get off and do your own thing, maybe you can make Mania. But you sitting here depending on Bianca, which Naomi did say that. That's the reason why she attacked Jade.
Yeah.
And now she's like, well, look, I'm making you famous. Like, I feel like that's just a thing she could say.
Was like an afterthought for us. She was like added just last just cause, right? Because they just had to have a big 3 deal, right? She was added last at the Bad Blood thing. I mean, it was kind of like an afterthought, right? Like, oh yeah, let's add Naomi. It's not like Naomi has been the cream of the crop this whole time.
But that's why she did what she did, and she needed that push. If you get what I'm saying, so she did that. So you see where she is now.
She still ain't the cream of the crop. We just
the cream of the crop. But hey, this is the first.
We're getting great storytelling. Or great showing of her that we haven't seen in a while. So, we're just a little gassed up off the hype,
No, but she needed that evolution.
Hey, well, hang on. To be fair now, cream of the crop or not, Naomi has won a world title at WrestleMania.
Right.
Like, that has happened.
And she won that Battle Royal at WrestleMania.
Yeah, so granted, she's not cream of the crop. Like, that's one thing I do want to also make a preference of. We can't pretend everyone is going to be a star as far as, like, the main event star. Like, not everyone's going to be that. Naomi is not that. I will agree with you on that. But I'm not going to shortchange Naomi and act like she's some flash in the pan, even though I do question her wrestling acumen.
I want to preface myself, too. Like, I would never disrespect or take away her accolades, but I'm not going to sit here and act like she's, like, my top 5 pick when it comes to what should happen right now in the women's division. That's just not for me.
First women's singles match that's not for a title. Here we go. This is history. Another history moment at WrestleMania for her.
But just to be clear, I don't think that Jade is benefiting. I think this works best for both parties. That's what I'm saying. This works best because this has boosted Naomi to a new stratosphere in her career because the glow was over. The glow bin went out like Tinkerbell. The light just kind of just went out. Jade needed a first type of rival inside the WWE because we can't go off of what she did in AEW. And I think this is where I put all my chips in, and I want to see what's going to happen now. So
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited, but I just wanted to let the doctor know where I was coming from.
okay.
Oh, I get where you're coming from. I
we
don't
know.
mind it
We
either. I
know.
love that's where you're coming from. I know you're a big Jay Cargill fan, but like I said, if Naomi comes out of her mouth and say these things, you're gonna have to take that up with her at that point.
She crying with spilt milk like the rest of these hills around here. I don't know what's going on with these hills. They just crying with spilt milk.
She ain't crying now.
Not all.
But I didn't mean to interrupt. I want to be in order here. I mean, how's everybody doing
Oh, we
tonight?
good. We good. We just the only thing we discussed was what the Jey Uso and Gunther, and then we was discussing Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman situation. What segment?
What did you make of the real quick, Sean? What did you make of the Paul Heyman Seth Rollins segment?
That this is the making of Seth Rollins becoming a Paul Heyman guy. That this is the origin story, because he brought out two really good points. He's like RC has been saying since Roman's came back. Where was Roman when, Paul got brutally assaulted by the bloodline, right? Which I think that's not Roman's fault. That's not Roman's fault. Roman was taking care of his own demons at that time. You talking about 1,000 some odd days as world's champ, and he's just supposed to just come back like, I mean,
That's fair.
Can we put ourselves in his shoes? We're not talking about like a year title reign. We're not talking about even a 400 or 600 day reign. We're talking about this thing has ran the course of time. What, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, damn near.
So was he just supposed to just come back and just go to business as usual? No, he needed time to think about that. And also the wise man and Roman Reigns also shared an intimate moment at the end of WrestleMania where they stood there at the top of the ramp and they embraced one another because they knew that, man, this ride was a long ride and it came to a screeching halt. So I don't blame that on our tribal chief. It's not our tribal chief fault that Paul Heyman got assaulted by the bloodline. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kind of like what Professor says about Naomi. You said something really cool. He was like, this just happens in wrestling, right? She
murdered
her. It just
sometimes these things just happen, right?
It just happens. Sometimes these things just happen. She's Paul Heyman just is a casualty of someone else's frustration. So that's not on the tribal chief. We can't say that. He also talked about,
I mean, Paul Heyman sure forgave him after all this time. So but I would assume he thought about that. So I mean, I don't know.
Real quick, I kind of agree with Sean a little bit. I don't know if I don't know how much of a friendship we have with Paul Heyman or how much of a business partnership you have with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. So if it's a business partnership, yeah, I can see the case where like the bloodline attacked Paul Heyman. I'm not sure how much of that is Roman's responsibility. Like Roman, dude, it was 1,000+ days. How many days off? Granted, he had a lot of days off, but it's like he had to carry the company, quote unquote, right? So you gotta like decompose. You gotta kind of refresh yourself. You can't just come right back into the trenches like, oh man, I just finished this and I got to do that. Maybe Paul Heyman should have taken some time off. The guy looked like he wasn't getting any sleep anyway. What was his obligation to Solo if Roman didn't give him the go ahead? Maybe Paul Heyman put himself in a situation he shouldn't have been in.
Paul Heyman was going down with the ship. That was what that was. He was going down with the ship that was headed in a downward trend. And then he mentioned CM Punk, about how when CM Punk came back, he said that this ain't about friends, this is about making money, right? So Seth Rollins has put our wise man in quite a predicament. So it's really balling down custody of Paul Heyman. That's what this whole match is about.
Yeah, it really is about custody of Paul Heyman. But to that point though,
that's a joke.
CM Punk didn't come to WWE to make friends, but to make money, right? But Paul Heyman was already his friend.
That's what I'm about to say.
Paul Heyman before he left. So it wasn't about making friends. It was more so about rekindling an old friendship that was already there.
I agree. So I just see it as Seth Rollins may be the next Paul Heyman guy. Can you imagine what this would look like? Right? Can you imagine Paul Heyman maybe pulling Seth aside, and if that was to happen, and saying, "Man, look, man, whatever happened to the architect? You just hanging out in your wife's closet, picking her clothes and picking off her heels, and whatever happened to the Seth Rollins that actually burnt things down. Whatever happened to that Seth Rollins? You know, whatever happened to the Seth Rollins that, single-handedly did the best cash in probably in the heist of the century, right? Or the heist of the decade, however you put it. Whatever happened to that Seth Rollins?
Hey.
Paul Heyman, because look at the greatness Paul Heyman has done. What was CM Punk before Paul Heyman?
He's still CM Punk.
Yeah, he was still the top Joe. He was CM Punk.
No,
yeah, he was
man,
CM Punk. Yeah, he was CM Punk.
Hey, put this out there on the reel right now.
He was not the pipe bomb. Paul, he was not the pipe bomb.
Yes, he was.
No,
he came with a pipe bomb.
He was the same CM Punk.
Man, put this on the reel right now.
Listen, I would say that
none of them need Paul Heyman. Neither three of these guys need Paul Heyman. To be real,
Paul Heyman does what's the word? Expand upon what you are, but you still got to be somewhat of a top dog. For Brock Lesnar, well, that's a bad example because he came in with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
But Roman Reigns, granted, the guy was getting booed out the building. I mentioned this before, but at the same time, he was winning championships. He was main eventing WrestleMania. It's just when Paul Heyman got to him, he became more palatable.
And that's fine. I'm always talking about, that's fine. I'm always talking about, what do I always say? Longevity, right? Paul Heyman sustains people's careers. You can be all right, but it's not until, look at Jimmy Hart, all these great managers from back in the day. Come on, man.
Where's Curtis Axel?
Yeah.
No, where's Curtis Axel? Curtis Axel. That's a Paul Heyman guy, by the way. Where's Curtis Axel?
Ryback.
How's he doing?
Ryback.
That's a Paul Heyman guy.
Oh, Ryback?
Yeah, that was a Paul Heyman guy.
Sometimes you just don't follow. You don't follow the coach. You don't follow the coach. Listen, you don't follow the coach. Two people can grow up in the same household. No, listen. Two people can grow up in the same household under the same principles, morals, values, and principles. And let's say their dad was a millionaire, just for the argument's sake, right? But one kid goes out and just snorts up all the money, does what he wants, but they were still in the same house. So what I'm saying, Ryback still had the same coaching that Roman Reigns, CM Punk, these guys have. But hey, he just chose to do otherwise.
You should be a White House press secretary, the way you spend things. You spend things well.
But I see what you're saying with that, though. I'm like, so you can't win them all, but I just still say neither one of these guys really need Paul Heyman like that. Not at this moment in time.
But keep in mind, here's the real dynamic. CM Punk wants Paul Heyman to escort him out to throw Roman off his game.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins want Paul Heyman out of the picture to throw both of them off of their game. So in the end of it, it really is just more so, it is psychological in a sense, and I guess it is calculated to a degree.
Yeah.
However, I still don't really understand the whole, now you owe me a favor. That's the only part I still don't get. Like, what are you talking about, Seth?
That's what I was about to ask you guys.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
don't get that.
He's saying that, but he's saying that because
what is going on?
He said that because, like I said, he helped Paul Heyman figure out who's really for him, and it's the man he hates. It's CM Punk, but it's CM Punk.
By threatening the man's life, how is that helping him out?
No, he wasn't really doing that.
He stopped short.
Yeah, he stopped short of doing it. He just trying to, because every time he did it, he looked at the ramp just to see who's coming out there and who. Like I said, he's asking Paul Heyman, "What are you worth? Is this how much you worth? Or what do I got to do to get somebody out here?" And somebody finally came.
Or did it look like they were hitting with kitten gloves on that night? It looked like they didn't really want to touch each other that night. Their interaction didn't seem like, it was kind of like, I'm going to hit you up a little bit. You throw me down.
He was kind of teasing it a bit. But the thing about that is we knew that Roman wasn't in that building. Roman wasn't there. So it was only CM Punk that was there. And if he was egging to get CM Punk out, mission accomplished on that. But still, in the grand scheme of it, you have Paul Heyman there, you come close to stomping him, and then you say you owe me a favor. I don't owe a person a favor if they practically almost sideswipe me. No, I don't owe you a favor. You just need to look out where you're going.
That's what I'm saying. And they already advertised that Roman was going to be there next Raw. So I knew he wasn't going to be there that night. They already said.
But how many times has Roman really said?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, it could be just a business relationship. I still don't know if Paul Heyman and Roman are actual friends or just business partners, which can go a long way if you're like Bobby Lashley and MVP.
That's his tribal chief. That's a difference.
See, exactly, right? That doesn't sound like friends as much as it sounds like I am obligated to be here because I am on payroll. Like my lawyer, if I had a lawyer, is not my friend. He's just my lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, we could
But
be friends, but I mean, once
I
I stop paying him, he ain't gonna be my friend no more.
I
Like,
guess it's just what Paul Heyman is looking for right now.
Right.
I guess it's on him. But Seth is saying, I showed you what it is, so you owe me a favor for showing you what it is. Like I said, I don't know if he really looking for a favor. I don't like that. What at this point from WrestleMania, from here to WrestleMania, what you gonna give to Seth Rollins? I don't know, but it's just an intriguing line.
Do you think it's going to be a double main event? Didn't one time they do like a double main event? Like, there wasn't just like a single main event. It was like a main event before the main event.
Well, they do that. It needs to be Jey Uso. Jey Uso should be the main event.
That's what I'm saying. After what's going on with him and Gunther, although I did not like the interaction they had on Raw because I feel like Jey Uso should have swung at that man versus talking to him.
Ooh, man. Just talk about that. Okay.
You the one guy.
Yeah, I feel like he should have gave him the hands. I mean,
that's easy to do. Yeah, that's cool. But it's better to save it and take his title, what he holds dear right now, and then do that at WrestleMania and get in his mind like he was in your mind. That's all I was saying a little earlier before you got on. He getting in Gunther's mind like Gunther was in his for months, and you saw Gunther's reaction.
Yeah, that's true.
And because I tell him, BJ, Gunther didn't even want to talk about Jey Uso after that in the interview with Sam Roberts. Right. He didn't even want to talk about Jey. So you right there, okay. Gunther shook right now.
I don't know, man. I wish it was a main event. I think the triple threat match, that could just be what it was. We respect those guys either way, but I wish it was a main event.
It'd have been nice.
Should be. It's a crime to storytelling that is not the main event.
And the storytelling has gotten better.
Well,
storytelling has gotten better.
The Jey Uso story goes so deep. Like I don't know if he was on when I mentioned this, but if Jey wins the world title, where is the how do you stop him from wanting him to claim tribal chiefdom? He has the world title now. Roman doesn't even have it.
That's true.
That's a big deal. I mean, that is the crux of the entire bloodline story, and it's like so much of that is built to this singular moment where Jey could be the top dog of the entire family.
Or is it like the premise that The Rock stands by, like an elder had to basically anoint you to be the leader of the family?
Well, Solo ran around with it, and I mean, no one appointed him. That was kind of the argument, but even Roman had to subdue to the fact of, okay, I got to win it from Solo, instead of being like, no, it's mine because my parents told me.
But the High Chief came back. The High Chief came back and put things back in order.
Or has he? Because right now things are kind of out of order. John Cena's a heel, and we still don't really know why.
Well,
we know why, but we don't know why he's with The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, maybe The Rock, like I said, he might come on Monday, or because he got to come sooner or later. I mean, you can't just be at Elimination Chamber and not show up at least a week before WrestleMania. Before WrestleMania.
That man got some good movies coming out. He's about to be in a movie with DiCaprio, so he's probably doing that right now.
I mean, that's nice. I mean, all power to you, Rock.
It's nice. Yeah,
but
that's pretty cool. I'm kind of interested in that.
He still got a story to tell here.
Yeah, he does, but I don't know if he cares.
Long-term story.
I don't know if he cares. He's like, I'll show up when I show up.
Hey, I mean, not necessarily that they really need him. I mean, I think Cody and Cena are doing a great job. I mean, they wouldn't.
Yeah, but it's just that missing piece of the story. Like, that's a pretty big factor. And it's like, why did that happen?
And Cody got some receipts for Travis Scott, so that's about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Travis Scott will be at WrestleMania. I think he still got the theme song for WrestleMania. I know the weekend that had it for the last 5 years. He still got it this year too. So.
Yeah, man, the weekend is WWE, and WWE is the weekend.
I like, dang, can you come perform one of these songs? I mean, you got like 6 theme songs for WrestleMania.
I know this is probably off. You probably didn't have this on, but man, did anybody see the Pat McAfee show? The Big Night Out?
No, I didn't check it out.
Wait, was that in the arena?
That was in the I don't know what arena, but it was in Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Well, I saw a picture of it, and someone posted a picture. Why are there fans on both sides trying to take a dig at another company? But go ahead.
He had talk about putting WWE over, taking the time to put them over on people that probably because he attracts like a different fan base, right?
Yeah, sports fans
They
usually.
had Jey Uso out there. They had the girl that does the ring announcing now. I forget her name. They had a sumo wrestlers out there to do like some sumo stuff. He had Michael Cole out there, of course. Michael Cole actually did commentary for that sumo
Wow.
match they did. But it was huge, man. But he basically put WWE over to a whole nother audience. So I'm like, man, what a smart move that was, because Jey Uso was out there. So, and he came through the crowd like he would at a regular wrestling event, and it took him forever to get. Took him. He was gassed. Jey Uso was gassed by the time he got it. They played they restarted that song at least 3 times.
Oh my God.
And he just got down halfway. It was, yeah, but it was good though. It was good. It was good. It was a long show, but it was good. They gave away money to people. Man, people got $100,000. Just random folk got money last night. It was crazy.
I'm about to check some of that out.
Look into that.
Where am I in those moments?
At home.
I was like at work.
Yeah, people were getting big time money, like $100,000, $250,000. They was getting,
Man, I need to be there, bro.
But yeah, he really talked about, his relationship with WWE and how he's been able to, every phase of his life, kind of been able to live out a dream of his life. And one of the dreams has always been able to be a part of WWE in some faction. And man, he really took care of those guys last night. So I thought it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
People on there all the time, different wrestlers.
That made me realize that you guys might be right about Jey Uso. You guys might be on something.
Oh,
dude, look.
Oh.
I listen. I am a person. I'm humble. I would eat crow.
Well, it's seasoned well for you.
But Jey, the way he came out last night, I was like, okay, he might be onto something. Might be onto something.
Telling you
The
now.
yeet might last a little while. I might have. What's the word?
Spoke too soon.
I might have spoke too soon.
Yeah.
It's still up in the air. It's still debatable.
Well, he has to win that Mania.
He got to win that Mania. That's a must win.
If he wins that
Mania, if he loses that Mania, you might as well flush this whole thing down the toilet.
Yeah. If he wins that Mania, I believe that it'll last at least a good 3-4 months.
Average range.
I believe in Jey Uso. Yeet yeet.
I bet.
I'm excited for WrestleMania, man. I am literally excited.
Yeah, oh yeah. You say we got another match made official on Raw. With that triple threat. I gotta talk about this, man.
Triple threat, Bianca, Io.
Rhea
So
Ripley.
let me ask you a question. If Io wins, does this result in some form of a Bianca heel turn?
No, I don't think so.
A lot of people asking for that. But the real heel in this is Rhea Ripley.
Bianca's the one getting booed and not anyone else.
I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
Because Rhea's acting like a spoiled child. She really should she's getting on my nerves. She needs to take the pin.
She is annoying right now for me.
Rhea, she's gotten on my nerve too, because I'm like, well, you don't need to be in this match. Really, you don't.
Right, you done cried and whined. She was watching my match. She cheered for Io. So, you suck, Bianca. You're scared of me. Come on, man. Come on.
It is horrible.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Felt every word that Bianca said to her. I felt it all.
Yeah.
Because, like, you want to say something, but no, Bianca said, shut up. Sign the contract. I want you in here. Don't that sound like a babyface to me?
That's a babyface.
Sounds like a bully. You're scared of me. You don't want me in this match, do you? Duh. Shut up, man. Come on in, if you're going to come.
So where does Io fall? That's one thing I don't like about Io getting disrespected. Where does she fall in all this?
That's the only thing. I don't know why Io's getting disrespected. She got a clap back with the springboard drop kick.
Drop kick, boy. She hit some force on that thing. She probably tried to break Rhea's neck for real on that back end.
Bianca, and she did her little taunt. She do that. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, whiplash.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't understand the Io, disrespect. So that make you kind of want to cheer Io in this to win. But I just gotta go with Bianca because Bianca has been speaking facts this whole time. She won the Elimination Chamber, even with the stuff she had going on with Naomi and Jade. She still won, and that's That's hard for anybody. And she said she deserves. She continues to tell why she deserves to be in this match and why Rhea really doesn't. But the fact that Rhea's whining so doggone much, Bianca wants her in there just to shut her up.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what this whole thing really reeks of, though? The real issue in all this? Adam Pearce. Because Adam Pearce does not know how to control situations.
No control.
Yeah.
You know, this all really just turned into Adam Pearce being like, all right, you know what? I don't know what to do. We're going to have to do it this way because I messed up every step of the way to this point. So here you go.
Yeah, I didn't like him in this either because he threw a lot of shade on all three of them. Talking about they all unprofessional. The only unprofessional one is Rhea Ripley. Like I said, she's signing contracts that her name not even on.
That's very true. That is very true.
Bianca did it the right way.
The triple threat needs to be her, Charlotte, and Tiffany. A whole bunch of unprofessional people in the ring.
Yeah, go to SmackDown.
Yeah, go fight that unprofessionalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she has no real premise to be in this match other than, I mean, you never got your rematch. I guess if that's the route you want to go.
She got that.
She sure did.
Yeah, but Bianca threw the match out.
No. They kept hitting Bianca. Y'all keep hitting me. What you want me to do? I gave y'all leeway.
She blamed Bianca, but you hit Bianca multiple times.
Her and Io hit Bianca.
I just want to point out again, that was an Adam Pearce choice to make Bianca the referee.
And Adam Pearce had to apologize, but then he didn't apologize. Like they call him unprofessional. Like, bro, you did this.
Adam Pearce needs to be fired. Let's just get a new deal.
The thing is, I like Adam Pearce. It's just like this, what he did with this, and having Rhea in the match now. I get it. She's a star. Everybody's cheering for her, but they need to be cheering for Bianca or Io, because Bianca looked at the fans that were cheering her, gave them a little smirk and a little, that's right. You know who the right one is.
Man,
listen, no disrespect to any of them. No, it is. I mean, I understand why the match is. It's just that kayfabe-wise, Adam Pearce is bad at his job. He either needs an assistant or maybe he should go and help that girl in SmackDown.
Well, so
Ava? Is
that her name? No, that's NXT.
It's an NXT. That's what I'm going to say, NXT.
But
Nick Aldis, I think, has control.
Will she stay undefeated? Will Bianca stay undefeated?
I don't know, man. I know a lot of people want to see who she's going to win. I don't know. Io looking real good to me.
Yeah, she's supposed to. She's supposed to look good to you. That's why they got her in the match. She's the world champion, and she's supposed to be the babyface in all this. They trying to make Rhea and Bianca the heel, but Bianca is not the heel in this. No way.
Well, it ain't about a heel. It's just a triple threat. Like, it's a dynamic. Like, triple threat, anyone can win. And then on top of that, this will be Io's second year in a row walking in as champ. You're going to have to lose 2 years in a row being champ.
Right.
Two streaks happening right now.
I don't know, but I feel like Bianca got something in her back pocket. I don't know. I just feel like she do.
I tell you what she got.
I hope it's a slapjack.
It's probably Naomi. Naomi going to come out and help her win.
I mean, it could be that. Because Naomi could pull that whole, see, you may not want me as a friend, but I'm showing you everywhere. I got rid of that Leech J. Cargill. I got you this title belt. You owe me, Bianca.
Yep.
Or
I told you that a few episodes ago.
The psychotic friend,
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, Fatal Attraction. Yeah, that's what they did use that one. Fatal Attraction.
Yep, Fatal Attraction. So I mean, that could be that could be in her back pocket. And then she's gonna make her feel like, I never asked her to do this, that type of thing, and we'll probably spend the next 3 months trying to uncover that. So, but I still think Eagle's gonna win. I think Eagle's winning.
So next week is like the go home show. You think they're gonna have a face to face, or we doing video packages? What do you think they're gonna do with these girls?
They need to be face to face.
Yeah, they might do one more face to face, one more promo, and then the promo. The video package is gonna be the SmackDown mostly. The SmackDown.
It feels like it's gonna be a bunch of pull apart brawls in these next Raw and SmackDowns.
Yeah. Most likely. Like I said,
everybody's love is pull apart brawls.
Yeah, everybody wanted Jay to hit him in, but they gotta save something for the next Raw. Jay gonna hit him in the next Raw.
I'm like, bro, you supposed to smack this dude. He laid your brother out in front of you.
And he will. He will.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, right? Gunther might have expected that, but by not doing that, maybe you throw Gunther off his game.
Exactly.
Like, why did he hit me?
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
And Gunther would have been ready for that. But he wasn't ready for what Jay said to him.
and you beat the man to a bloody pulp right in front of him. I just can't. I cannot unsee that.
Yeah, he
Neither
can't.
can Jay.
You're right. But like Jay said, it lit hit a light bulb. I know what I got to do.
That probably wouldn't have happened if they were respected their tribal chief. None of that would have happened.
Oh God, we're not doing this. I'm not doing that. Only reason I'm not doing that is because that SOB is taking the main event from Jey Uso. That's the
Now,
only reason.
come on.
Hey,
Man said it, and he's probably right. We would not be here in this predicament, WWE wise, if it wasn't for Roman Reigns in the bloodline.
Cody Rhodes.
In the bloodline story.
and
Cody Rhodes. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's Cody Rhodes more ways than one that anyone could even possibly fathom.
Really?
But yeah, it's Cody Rhodes.
Not the
Cody Rhodes.
We might
now,
have a
Cody
whole.
Rhodes is a. Oh, listen.
We might have a whole
Cody
show about Cody
Rhodes-
Rhodes.
We can. Well, I can easily do that. Cody Rhodes is the
blood-
linchpin of why wrestling is awesome. Cody Rhodes is the linchpin of why wrestling is at where it is as a whole. It's Cody Rhodes.
the bloodline story is the reason why WWE right now is where they are.
I'll give you that. But the reason why the bloodline story was even interesting is because Cody Rhodes is off in another land doing something just as interesting. They said, we got to make a better product.
I would give you that to a certain, maybe 40% degree, but 40%. But it's the bloodline, the reason why everything is where it is. And then on top of that, certain guy kind of took the hymns. Wow, did I just put that together?
Oh, look at that. Where did that come from, huh?
So
Oh, look at this.
there was another match
Segue.
made for WrestleMania. They did a 4-way Intercontinental title match. What y'all think about this match? That was
Do I stop you when you embellish on John Cena? Do I stop
because
you?
we're talking about John Cena. He's part of the WrestleMania card.
Do.
Yeah, he stopped me.
You're talking about the Fatal 4-Way, right?
Yeah. Between Penta,
My boy,
Braun Breaker,
Dominic bringing it home.
Finn Balor.
He bringing it home.
Yeah, because Professor got me thinking that too. Because what he
Oh,
said last time.
It's time.
The Intercontinental couple
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
happening. The
It's time.
Intercontinental
Yeah.
couple.
It's time.
I'm not mad at
It's
that, but I want Finn Balor to be brought
Yeah.
back up to prominence, man.
Me too.
His days are over. Sometimes
that just
No.
it kind of irks me, man. That's the only thing that
You
irks
gotta
me.
face it. Listen, you know this, Professor. Football players have a shelf life. Sometimes, as good as they are, they got a shelf life. There's a window, and that window is
Yeah.
gone for Finn Balor.
Sometimes it's a long window, sometimes it's a short window. Does depend on the person. I will say this, Finn Balor, to be the Finn Balor everyone wants, he's going to have to leave Judgment Day. They got to kick him out or he has to leave. If he stays at Judgment Day, he's going to be relegated to just who he is. People want to see the demon Finn Balor again. You ain't going to see that coming out of Judgment Day.
And they have it looking like on TV, it looks like Dominic is the real leader of this thing. He does look like the leader.
He's trying to prove people. Things are kind of running through him as far as he's not like giving orders, but he's doing things. Much like how Rhea was, or
Some
how
people say it's
Damien was.
Liv Morgan.
Well, could be.
Could be.
Behind every leader is a strong woman to some degree. Could be
That's
pulling
right.
the strings.
There you go.
The Intercontinental couple.
And I mean,
Yeah.
hey, listen, this is his time. What better time than right now? Because he has the girl that's got all the accolades in the world. How long did we want Dominic just to be?
Right.
Oh, I'm good. Listen, you asking me this question, I ain't got a problem with the answer being like, I take forever. Like, Dominic ain't got to win nothing far as I'm concerned, but
He's
I
got a lot
think
of
he may win.
He's got
He
a
does
lot
get
of.
a lot of heat. He's
Now-
got good heat.
That's even cooler. And how he's got all this heat and he ain't really like strapped. He ain't got no accolades behind that.
Oh yeah,
It's just
North
he-
American title one time.
Are we?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He did.
But I mean, like I said, any of these 4 guys can win this match.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I'm rooting for Penta.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm rooting for
Okay.
Penta.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's my dude. Like, of all these people, that's my guy. I would like for him to win, but I won't be surprised if Dom will win. We haven't made our official picks yet, but just know I am with whoever I pick. Just know internally, I'm rooting for Penta.
I hear you,
Yeah.
boy, but it's hard to go against that super soldier, Braun Breaker, with that spirit he got on Carlito. Lord,
That was
Jesus.
one heck of a spear, man.
Well, he built up like he did a super special on him. That was a
I'm
super
telling
finisher.
you.
Did you see the angle of that spear?
Yeah. You know, there was a still shot of it when he hit it, I didn't actually see this match. I just saw this. I thought Braun landed on his head. Like,
Me
no, he
too.
did a complete flip and
Yeah,
made it work.
He saw Scott Steiner say they saying that's a Steiner blood. That's in his DNA.
I mean, yeah, it is.
That
He's
dude,
right about that.
that dude went through that man. I thought Carlito was done, like for real done. Like this is it. We ain't seen him no more.
Well, Carlito may be done. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's joining JD McDonough on the sidelines.
Yeah, McDonough.
JD
But,
McDonough.
it's gonna be a good fatal four-way though.
Then we got Dominic
Yeah.
Daddy. He got a match. Mr. Rey
That
Mysterio.
deadbeat.
Fighting,
Who's he fighting?
El Grande, the Americano.
El Generico?
Sunday Americano.
How do we feel about
The
this? How do
Blue
we feel
Blazers?
about this guy who just now recently showed up on the roster maybe 4 weeks ago, getting a Mania spot?
Like why? I want to know why.
I don't know. You hear the crowd chants? He's talking about, it's Chad Gable. No, it's not. It's Chad Gable. I don't know. It might be Chad. I think he's going to be unmasked at WrestleMania. That's my call on it.
Oh, they're going to unmask him?
Yeah, they're going to unmask him at WrestleMania.
I mean, that could
I
be a
think
possibility.
For Rey Mysterio, that is going to unmask
You got to
him.
put it into the story at some point, right? So
Yeah,
I
'cause
guess,
come
you
on.
know what? Oh, maybe not at Mania, but if El Generico wins, I think they may do a mask versus mask the next time around.
Yeah, that could be the backlash.
Because you want to go ahead and build that up.
Yeah.
And I mean, ain't like we haven't seen Rey Mysterio's pretty face.
So what's going to happen when they pull the mask off and it's Chad Gable?
We're going to be like, damn, when did Ezekiel come back?
No,
It's Chad Gable, man.
ain't gotta be.
Is it Chad Gable?
I don't know. I mean,
It's
I don't
Chad.
know, man. Chad Gable, he's still hurt. He's not cleared.
yeah, This
It's
is
Chad
the Blue Blazer. What's it called? Mr. America, whatever type of.
It's like when Hulk Hogan was the masked
That's what
guy.
I'm saying.
Hold on. Now that was Mr. America. I know for certain that
Okay.
wasn't Hulk Hogan. I've seen Hulk Hogan. He might have sounded like them, but trust me, that wasn't Hulk Hogan.
All right. You should have kept
That
that
was
mask
Hulk
on.
Hogan.
No Hogan when I see him. Yellow hot dog losing hair. Okay, I'm not
That was Hogan. That was good
Hot
old Terry.
dog.
That was Terry. That was Hogan.
dogging and
But yeah,
grandstanding.
Grande Americano got a match. I need the New Day to go ahead and get the match because they was wronged on Monday Night Raw. The War Raiders got themselves disqualified.
Oh,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
Look,
did.
Here's the facts. I can sit here and bring a chair. I could bring a Kindle stick. I could bring a belt. I could bring whatever I want. It ain't a weapon until I use it.
Uh-huh.
Who used the weapon?
so we
Ivar.
seriously going there.
Ivar used it. All he had to do was take it and throw it away.
That man fell down to the ground before they can even do anything with that chair.
Man, no,
Well,
he
you
hit
know
him in the
what?
stomach.
You hit him in the stomach. Referee's discretion.
This is horrible. But they do.
Yeah,
they
you're
do-
right.
It is horrible. Exactly.
They do deserve. They do deserve a match. They need the match and the tag team title belts. They do belong on a New Day. But I'm like, come on, y'all. We couldn't find no other ending to this match.
Listen, man, we got to just get to Mania at this point.
All right, we got 2 weeks.
You saw how they put together the Rhea and all that. Like, dude, we just got to get there now. Forget all this
At
storytelling.
this point, because they already lost like the steam from the New Day turn, so they got to do something with the New Day.
I
Yeah.
really do. Because
Yep.
I really do.
New Day needs to like just go out on a recruiting spree and just recruit young talent and build up this strong it's really strong faction.
Kinda
Are
like
you
the Hurt
saying that they
Syndicate's supposed to
needed?
be.
Hold on. Are you saying that the New Day need to go on an Odyssey? I think they tried that already. They tried that. That didn't work.
Listen, but honestly had some
He got you with that one, boy.
honestly, if you're watching, this is all respect. But he had some loose ends he had to tie up. Kids, if you're out there, please make sure your baby mama, your girlfriend is at bay.
Yeah.
Keep them at
Yeah.
bay. Keep them at bay. Because when you start doing good, they're going to bring it back up.
Boy, it's going to turn into a storm. It's going to turn
Yeah.
into a real storm.
So I think New Day needs a redo. How about that?
They need something, but they need them tag team titles. I'll tell you that, because Warriors ain't doing nothing with them.
But I mean, They are injury prone, so that's not all their fault.
It ain't.
That's what I was thinking too, right? The
Even if they're on
injuries, yeah.
screen, are you that interested?
When they were the Viking experience, I was. I can't say that enough. When they were the Viking Raiders, I loved it.
But then it's not even their fault because, like Professor says, it's the tag team division as a whole.
Yeah.
We haven't put eyes on it. We're not doing it its rightful justice. It's kind of like,
I mean, it's better on SmackDown right now.
It's just starting to get there, though.
Yeah, it's really starting to pick up now. But for a while, that was kind of abysmal, too.
Yeah.
Tag team wrestling was just awful in 2024. We're only like 3 months into 2025, so it's just now picking up.
I know New Day better be getting them titles at WrestleMania, and Street Profits better to defend successfully at WrestleMania.
Well, we're looking at an all-black WrestleMania, huh?
Yeah. But, I mean, we have another tag team gauntlet going on for the women's tag team titles. Who will Liv and Raquel be defending against?
Who's in that gauntlet?
Yeah, I got to see who's that. I heard Natalia and, what's the girl name from
Alpha Academy?
Yeah, Alpha Academy. I'm like, how they get in there?
She ain't about that life.
I don't know how they got in there, but I was hoping they did with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross be in that thing.
Then watch they bring back Nikki Bella or something for this role here.
Jesus, please don't.
Nikki Bella? Oh, no. She's not going to
need to be in there. That's who I want.
Well, no, if that's the case, then Alexa Bliss.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Because I think the next time we see Wyatt 6, they're going to be probably on SmackDown program.
That's what I'm thinking too.
They're supposed to be because they were supposed to be chasing around Miz, but I never saw them.
I think either they're hurt or I don't know. Okay, here we go. I got it. Tag Team Gauntlet has Katana Chance and Kaden Carter.
Makes sense.
Right.
You have Lyra Valkyria and Bailey.
Yeah, they're supposed to be team. Yeah.
Bailey PFC.
UIC title match.
Pure Future Collective. Zoe Starks or Shayna Baszler. You have B-Fab and Mia Yim. You have Alba Fire and the other girl, Piper Niven.
Okay.
And lastly, it is Maxine Dupree and Natalia.
They probably won't win.
I don't like none of these.
That's a horrible gauntlet list.
Let me tell you, man. You know the solution to this right here?
Raquel, please retain. Jeez.
The best way to fix this entire ordeal is to get rid of the tag team titles. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, where the Meta Girls at? Meta Girls should be in there.
They ain't got up to the
they're in NXT.
They had a title shot before.
They're in NXT.
They
lost.
They had that on NXT.
They had a title shot before.
But that was on NXT.
No, they lost. So what? They're still going for it? You got these makeshift different champions.
Well, they're all makeshift tag teams. I mean, right now the tag team champions are makeshift tag teams, honestly.
They're still on the same team, though. I mean, they got together. She brought her back in. They was already friends. They was tag team before.
They got those because that girl was about to get the smoke. That's why they got those.
Either way, I ain't like none of these teams. Let Liv and Raquel. I'd rather retain with all that mess. If they ain't get no other teams. The only thing I see that's interesting out of this is Bailey turning on Lyra Valkyria because she lost on Raw in the IC title match.
Well, we need a real IC women's champ.
Whoa, what's wrong with Lyra Valkyria?
I mean, what has she done?
She's defended the title against Bailey. Successfully and cleanly, mind you.
Yeah. It was a clean one. It was clean.
And who else should be
I don't know. I
that?
need to see a little more. I need to see a little more.
Okay,
should be half a Damage Control.
Well, I mean, that ain't saying much. A lot of people seem to be Damage Control even as a whole.
Yeah.
Bianca did it.
But she beat all
single-handedly. In a ladder match. In the desert. What the hell? Jesus.
Because she the EST. What else?
EST, man. She the EST.
I'm telling you, if Bianca that won, she need to win at WrestleMania. Either way, I think that's most of what happened on Raw. NXT, Bo. I'm trying to see who fighting Stephanie. Who y'all think are going to get Stephanie McCool? I think there's going to be a fatal four-way. We've been wanting a multi-person match for all these matches.
Hey, man.
I think it's coming up to that. For
it's because you got the four-way match between Jada, you got Jada Parker in there, right? Jada Parker.
I feel like, Jada Parker, Jordan Grace. Julia's back.
Oh, yeah, Julia is back to it now.
She came back and later
Jordan Grace?
Yep.
Jada, and Stephanie. So I feel like that's what it's building up to.
So Stephanie's gonna.
I keep thinking Jordan Grace, but I don't think she's going to get it.
Definitely gonna win that one. She's gonna keep that belt, and the other belt's up for grabs, right?
Yeah.
She's North American? Yeah, it
It's
is.
gonna be a ladder match for that one. So Ruka qualified and Zarya qualified. I think Kalani Jordan also qualified.
Kalani might get it back again.
Yeah,
I would like for her to get it back, but I won't be surprised if they give it to Soruka.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Soruka was gonna be the inaugural champion.
That's why I'm thinking she may end up getting it.
She might get. I wouldn't be too mad at it. Another black woman on her have it.
She did win that match. Plus, she has Zarya on the by her side too.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing right there. They were cheering each other on in any matches, but they got to fight each other, stand and deliver.
Interesting.
Yeah,
stand and deliver.
But at some point, you just have to imagine that Jordan Grace is going to get all this stuff. So you just have to imagine.
Or at least a title, right? Because I mean, look, Ricky Starks walked in 4 hours ago, and he's a North American champion.
4 hours ago.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody going for that too.
Maybe Miss Parker can get something like that too at one point, but I don't think it's gonna happen right now.
You know what? Jada Parker, if they call her up to the main roster, I feel like she's gonna be one of the few who don't win any title and goes to the main roster.
She can win this world title right now. She the best.
I know she can, but some people just kind of go through NXT, don't win anything, and then go straight to the main roster.
I get it, but she need an accolade right there. Come on now.
No, you don't get. I like her. I just wouldn't be surprised if they did that to her.
I don't want to give Stephanie a short reign, but
I mean, even if a person doesn't win like that in NXT, like they don't get the major title, I don't think that's a deal breaker for them. Like they're not going to win big in the when they get to the main.
It's not, because I mean, look at Bianca Belair. I mean, she didn't win the NXT title. And
yeah, there you go. It's a great example. So, because I couldn't think of one, but I knew there was one out there. I knew there was one out there, though.
Hey, PJ, I knew somebody.
I mean, it was her and Becky, but Becky went back and got NXT title. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't win the Heisman, but they end up being a great player.
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite. Where a lot of people who do end up in the Heisman kind of become bust in NFL.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy winner, wasn't he?
It was,
boy.
Yeah,
man, I remember I was screaming Dallas should have drafted him. Boy,
me too.
Glad they didn't listen to me.
I was like, Dallas should have got him. Shoot, I was even like, we should have got him with a New England, but I'm glad we didn't do that.
Yeah, talk about dodge a bullet on that one. Good job, Cleveland.
Right.
But anyway,
as far as I know,
that's what I'm saying. Just because they don't, get that at the NXT level, not Jordan Grace, but Miss Parker could be that. She could be that one.
Yeah, we'll see. I still want her to get it, but I mean, it's all good if she don't. Man, I like it. Like I said, all these women are great in their own right. So I wouldn't be mad at putting on who wins if they make it a 54, which is looking like they are. But I don't know what they do with the men's North American title. You got Lexus King out there. You had Wesley.
Yeah. Who else?
Ethan Page. All these guys going after.
Yeah, they all grabbed the belt at the same time. Yeah, they grabbed the belt.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing with that. Are they going?
Is it going to be Ethan Page?
No, Ricky Saints going to retain.
Yeah, Ricky Saints got to retain that one, I think. I don't know what kind of match it is, but all them guys in there, I don't know. I'm trying to think what kind of multi-man match they could have besides another ladder match.
Yeah,
just a standard multi-person match. Standard 4-way, 5-way, 6-pack challenge. Let's just start adding more people into it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
More to marry.
Classic 6-pack challenge.
Yeah, because you already
an elimination chamber in NXT. Let's see how they deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the other match. What's the other match called? They always do at Deadline.
What they're in
the Iron Survivor?
Yeah, I love that match.
I love that match too.
Iron Survivor is different. I'll admit it's a pretty good match.
That's how War Games should be. War Games should be like that.
War Games is okay. The thing with War Games is that it just needs to be for specific events and not a regulatory match.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to go to. I don't want to go to Survivor Series and be like, oh, well, what's the War Games match this year? She'd be like, oh, they're doing War Games this year. That's pretty cool.
Like that. At the start of we shouldn't start when everybody get in there. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't start when everyone gets in there?
Yeah, because now it's like you're restarting. Like, we got to wait for everybody to really get in there. And then, if somebody done been beat down all this time.
I mean, listen, no truthfully speaking, I never liked the War Games match type. I was never a fan of it. The only War Games matches I really would say I enjoy are the ones that had the Undisputed Era in it. Other than that, I'm not a fan of War Games.
Right.
It'd
It
be
takes too
entertaining. The
long.
one this past year was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
You
but
know, a
it
lot of
does
people
take
got
too
hurt.
long. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bronson Reed. That sucks.
Boy, if he come back and face Randy Orton, I ain't thinking about him.
He's going to kill Randy Orton.
Boy, I would love
He's going to
that.
put Randy Orton out on the shelf.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Yeah, he might need to come back at Backlash.
I don't know, but somebody please explain to me what Dark State is doing. I mean, what's their goal right now? Because you got Oba, Trick, and Javon just trying to team up against them. They lost. And then they keep going after each other. Then Dark State come out of nowhere and beat all of them up. I'm like, so what is Dark State trying to do right now?
I guess it's the whole shield like
No, but they all up in the title picture. I mean, are one of them going for the title soon? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what we're
I don't
doing
know.
here.
There's still no official leader to this group, is there?
no.
That's the issue. If there's no leader, then how do you centralize all of this chaos?
That's what I thought. It would have been kind of a good idea if Trick was the leader, but they took that out of the equation.
That is not completely out of the equation. In TNA, you had the Aces and Eights storyline. Aces and Eights beat the crap out of Bubba Ray, I think, on his wedding day. But guess who the leader of Aces and Eights was? Bubba Ray.
Oh.
So Dark State they got a mystery member that they haven't announced yet.
Could be.
I mean, not
Could be the leader.
exactly, but they just been so much into this title picture with this triple threat that's about to happen. That's Stand and Deliver. It's like something got to happen.
Maybe that's Trick Williams' henchmen. Maybe that's them.
I mean, the thing is, if you're trying to throw people off the scent of it being you would say attack me. Make it look like I ain't in it.
Yeah.
Don't rule it out is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because they attacked him last out of everybody. So that's why I was like, I don't know.
And they always show up at that moment when he's out there or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, look, he may be. It might be. Don't rule it out is all I'm saying.
Be a good swerve. That means now Trick gonna be a heel.
Yeah, I mean, he be acting like that.
He's already kind of been treading that line anyway, right?
Especially with Javon Evans, like I said, he been talking junk to him.
That boy ain't ready. Trick ain't lying when he says what he says. He's just being really extra about it, but he ain't lying.
Yeah. That boy ain't ready. That boy ain't about that
I don't think
life.
he's ready either.
He ain't about that life.
I will see.
He needs to put some meat on them bones.
For real.
I mean,
unless we're gonna bring back the cruiserweight title.
Yeah. X Division.
Well, nah, here you go. Well, somebody else should put some meat on their bones according to Kenny Omega. The Young Bucks.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so
let's get to that.
Real quick. I want to get to this because I don't understand the idea and the dynamic here. You had a situation where Jon Moxley opened the show stating, the Bucks, you're not familiar with me, don't like you, thanks for the help, but no thanks in the end. The Bucks come out later, John, we like what you did. We tried to take over the company. We weren't really great at it. You seem to have a good handle on it. How about we all team up together? And then Kenny's coming out there like, yeah, you guys are the worst. You tried to kill me, and now I need to come back and beat the crap out of you. What the hell was Kenny talking about half of the time? He was just kind of
talking about what was he wearing? Like he got finished working out. I'm like,
he probably did.
He tired. I'm like, he was talking about his friends' dogs. He basically compared the Young Bucks to some little dogs pooping all on the floor.
Well, I did like that comparison because in that comparison, he was saying that when I'm not around, you guys mess this place up, which is not a false statement. I have to be here so that you guys, and he doesn't mean like mess it up as far as wrestling. He's even talking like business-wise. You guys are bad for business.
Yeah.
You tank the ratings.
Right.
Luckily, I'm here.
And going to spend the money on private jets. He's saying that's what they was shredding all the papers for and trying to get rid of the evidence of the money they were spending from the company.
Lord. So, but the Young Bucks, they come back. This is like a peace offering or something to the Death Riders. That's why they did what they did, right?
Exactly. It is a peace offering, but the thing is, the Death Riders ain't trying to take that olive branch. They're like, take your little olives because I don't like them.
And he said it was what, a favorite of the Hangman. That's what he said. It's a favorite of Hangman.
Well, it's a favorite to Hangman because Hangman said as long as he's breathing, Swerve won't be champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that logic makes sense, and I'm okay with that. It's just everything else after that still a little fuzzy, and it just needs more time to explain. But for right now, it's a little out there.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm not as mad as I was the other day, but about it, but it still needs some ironing out of the details of what's going on.
Yeah,
But
details do need to be. So
yeah,
we'll see next week.
as I was telling
No
BJ before
collision.
we came on,
No.
it seems like they lead to a big team versus team match. Kenny Omega,
Anarchy in Arena.
yeah, Anarchy in the Arena, yeah. Kenny Omega, Swerve, probably Hangman on their team, and then whoever else against the Young Bucks and Okada and probably some other whoever else.
Yeah, it's got to be leading that way because when I saw what actually happened, I'm like, the Young Bucks, they have no business in that whole picture. I mean, it just doesn't seem right, But now since they're saying it's a favor or a peace offering to the Death Riders, which makes me say, dog. So who's gonna stop John Moxley then? If everybody throwing peace offerings,
well, listen, he's climbing Mount Everest.
You keep saying Darby. I highly disagree with that.
You can disagree with all you want to. I'm just going by what I've seen Tony Khan do when Tony Khan has a storyline that he wants to go through. That man will see it all the way through, thick or thin, fans agreeing or not. This is what it is. Darby is going to unless I don't know who else it could be at this point. Because I'll tell you right now,
who the else could be?
Hate him or love him, the most over person in AEW is Swerve Strickland. And if he lost, hell, I guess Will Ospreay, but he ain't about to win.
Go on, let Jericho do it.
You have got to,
boy. You trying to take
Jericho actually no. Yeah, seriously, right? But no, I think Jericho actually wrote himself off TV for the first time in like 5 years.
I doubt it.
Bro, okay.
I doubt it.
Listen, knock on wood.
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping. I need Jericho to be gone. I need to miss this person. I'm tired of Jericho. I barely even listen to that segment because I'm tired of Jericho.
No, everybody keeps saying he going on tour with Fozzy, but none of those tour dates are on a Wednesday.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that because it's true. He's always there.
Yeah. So,
but no, I think he's up. But as far as the Bucks and Death Riders go, I don't know where this story can even end up because John Moxley don't want anything to do with it. But Pac is officially hurt. He hurt himself in the match against Swerve, so they're going to have an empty slot. That might leave Moxley open to talking with the Young Bucks. I don't see why, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, but who else might have an empty slot? They don't want it. The Hurt Syndicate.
Oh my God. Yeah.
MJF came out there standing like he was part of the crew out there. And Hurt Syndicate up there trying to celebrate. Did another title defense or whatnot. Had a big old champagne bottles or whatever they had in the bottles.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I was like big green bottles. I was like, no labels.
I think it was just water.
Yeah, possibly.
That table had that too. The whole
dog.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was. It's that Wild Irish.
Yeah.
Like a banana.
But Mr. Montel Ventilius Porter said if you get three thumbs up, then you're in. And then immediately.
And immediately when he said that, Bobby was like, oh my God, we doing this?
Yeah.
Because Bobby wants no parts of MJF in this group. We don't need him. We don't want him.
At all.
Shelton Benjamin gave him a thumbs down as well. So, but Shelton Benjamin thinks MJF is funny, but he still gave him a thumbs down.
Yeah, because you're funny, but I don't mean to be part of the group. I mean, you know what is? You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I said this before. R-Truth and Judgment Day did this storyline better. All right,
yeah,
they did the storyline way better.
That was classic.
They did. I'm sorry, they did the story better.
R-Truth is naturally funny as hell. But I don't know where it's going. Unless it's just MJF versus Bobby Lashley match, or he finally does something to prove.
The first white is they're segregating this thing. They're segregating this thing.
They're desegregating it.
Yeah,
they're opening it up. No, don't do that. Keep it segregated. Listen, segregation is a bad word, but it ain't a dirty word. I'm a firm
I
believer in
don't
segregation in
mind
some
it,
cases.
but MGF just don't fit in the situation.
No, I said what I said. I'm fine with segregation.
I'm just waiting for them to do what
No.
need to happen and they need to just expand that faction. You know,
Man,
They
they
need
waiting
to
on
make-
they waiting on Cedric, bro. That's all that is.
That's all it is, yeah.
Is Cedric coming or what? I mean,
You
what's
waiting
going
on it? No, we got 90 days.
The 90-day clause. You got to wait for that to go through. You know, company put on 90-day clauses. You ain't gonna be wrestling with my name on your back.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see, because I guess they had to wait 90 days for what, Ray Phoenix or somebody, ain't it?
No, Tony Khan, for the sake of argument, just released people. Now, with Penta, he said, go. Get out of here, fine. For Ricky Starks, he said, go. Get the hell out of here, fine. For
somebody that
well, it was Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix had like days added on because of injury, but he did let him out of his contract and no 90-day clause. Now, that isn't always the case with Tony, but for some of these people, it is.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I'm fine with it. I don't mind that he does that, but other people do.
Yeah.
Did Swerve say it's buck hunting season?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's going after the young bucks. And you know what? If it's buck hunting season, I know someone that got some buck shots. It's a lariat.
I got that one right.
There we go. There we go. He got the buckshot lariat. There we go. You got it.
Buck
But go
hunting
ahead.
season.
Hey,
Buck
I mean, it
hunting
fit
season.
though. I mean, but we do need to hear from
It's
Hangman
Travis
right
season.
now.
Yeah.
We need to hear from Hangman on this situation because we surprisingly heard from Kenny Omega.
He joined Omega, right? Swerve?
Well,
cool.
they're cool with each other, not necessarily officially joined, but one key thing to point out at Dynamite, again, a Hangman segment, he went looking for Swerve again, couldn't find him, found Prince Nana. Prince Nana, was Swerve's not here, and as Hangman was walking, it sounded like Nana wanted to apologize, but Hangman said, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that.
Right.
And then he kind of just walked away. I'm
That's why
interested to see where that goes.
Yeah. He didn't want to hear it from Swerve some more because what Swerve said last week really shocked him. So he had to walk off from that. So now he's back. He want a real conversation.
This man's going through existential crises.
I think he's been doing that for months now.
Yeah. I'm glad he hasn't gone back to drinking, though. Well, at least not to my knowledge.
Well, Adam Cole might go back to drinking.
Adam Cole, new TNT champion.
Yeah, he should be good.
I meant to say Adam Copeland. I meant to say
Copeland.
Oh, okay.
No, so Copeland is written off for TV. It is too many Adams.
He did get the power driver, so that
the power driver and I think 2 concertos. Maybe
like,
one.
How disrespectful. We use this man concerto on him. Like, how disrespectful is that?
I ain't got no problem with that. I was waiting for a third one, honestly.
Jeez.
I got no problem with it. I love that FTR did this. I'm all for it. FTR. Well, it's F-rated FTR because I don't care for that.
Okay.
I don't care for
that. I don't know. I'm trying to. Well, now I want to see. So they still have people fighting to get in the Owens still?
No. The Owens going. Like it's already ball rolling.
Well, I know it's going, but I saw some like matches to get in the Owens still.
There was no matches getting the Owens. The match you saw the other night was like the match you saw last night was a $400,000 match.
Oh,
and that was
just that match.
Oh, okay.
It was Statlander and Thunder Rosa.
That was the actual That was a match though. That they're in the tournament against each other.
Okay,
that was a match.
They're already in the bracket because remember we picked Statlander to win.
Maybe I saw the wrong thing.
Well, the way they're doing the match cards are kind of confusing because they also had them listed on Collision, but people weren't sure if it was a match or an interview. Turns out it was an interview. So I don't know.
What?
The match cards look kind of weird this week.
Okay,
but yeah, you had the match, that fatal, the 8-man tag.
Yeah,
that was pretty big.
That's everybody's in the Owen.
Yeah, you had Ricochet and no, they weren't in Owen because you had Ricochet, you had Leo Rush and Action Andretti, and God, I can't think of the fourth guy they had. Beast Mortos.
Yeah,
My
Mortos,
God.
yeah.
Beast Mortos.
Beast Mortos.
And against Will Ospreay, Kevin Knight,
Speedball,
Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Chicken Farmer with the missing teeth. Briscoe.
Oh, I was about to say, what in the world?
He's a chicken farmer. He is a chicken farmer. Yeah, he is.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, that was a good match.
so is it going to be Will Ospreay versus Fletcher?
That's going to be in the semifinals.
Semifinal. Okay.
Wait, is that going to be?
Oh,
hang on,
they on two different sides of the bracket.
They are on two different sides?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because Takeshita has Brody King. So it'll probably be Takeshita and Ospreay again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then we're going to get Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher again? No, we ain't getting Kyle Fletcher again.
Who else? We gotta look. I gotta look.
Third time?
Who's on that side? Who else do we
Give me
say?
a second. I got the bracket right here. I got the bracket.
This bracket.
Well, I could pull it up. Well, no, I can't. Let me just pull it. Let me just tell you. So, Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher already won, so he advanced.
Yeah.
Adam Page is going to face a wild card, but the wild card is still a wild card. We don't know who that is yet.
So yeah,
Will Ospreay already beat Kevin Knight, so Will Ospreay advance. And then you have Brody King versus Takeshita. We'll see when they have their match.
Yeah.
That can still kind of go either way, honestly.
Yeah. Man, I want to say
on the women's bracket, on the women's bracket, you had Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks. That has yet to happen.
Yeah.
You have Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander. Did that happen? That happened, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well that's right. That was a match. Okay, so that happened. And Tony Storm was doing the commentary. Yeah, that's right. You have Athena who's going to fight Harley Cameron on this week's Collision. And then you have Mercedes who beat Julia Hart. So you're going to have Athena versus Mercedes more than likely.
Right.
And then you're more than likely going to have Statlander versus, I'm saying Jamie Hayter.
That's what I'm thinking.
So this might be Mercedes' way into the world title picture then.
I mean, if all goes a plan, you could say that because she has a kinship with Harley Cameron. So if Harley Cameron loses, she can help Mercedes win against Athena.
Yeah. I hate for their first match to be in this tournament though. I don't know.
Right.
I hate that it's in this tournament and it's a semifinal match, not the actual final.
Right. That's what I was like. I don't know about that. Somebody got to call somebody a match.
Well, unless Athena loses to Harley Cameron.
It got.
That's Dude, I am not going to have Athena come on the forever Ring of Honor champion. If she loses to Harley Cameron, throw the whole tournament away. Throw the whole tournament.
I get what you're saying. I just don't. I ain't want that match that early in this type of situation. Like, just give Athena the TBS title shot. I mean, that still could happen, but I don't know. I don't want.
It's going to have to happen.
I don't want her to lose.
Mercedes got to defend that title eventually. I don't either. We'll see what happens. In the end, I got Jamie Hayter winning the tournament anyway.
Yeah, that's what we said last time.
You got who?
Jamie
Hayter. I got her winning the tournament. Because I think she's going to fight Toni Storm because they have a history. And I think Mercedes is going to fight Athena for the TBS title. And that's that.
And that's two interesting matches that I'm looking forward to right there.
Yeah, I think that'd be better. Mercedes can get a world title shot later. Right now, she needs to hang on to the TBS title.
She got full titles.
She got to defend some of them other titles and lose those, right? Before she gets this up.
If that's for those other companies to decide, I can only speak about what AEW is doing.
Right. That's the only one I'm watching.
Right? It really is. I'm not watching New Japan Strong, and I don't really care for Rev Pro to watch it. I mean, it's not bad. I like Rev Pro, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Mercedes? Yeah, Mercedes. Listen, it's going to be a comment about Jade Cargill. I want to prepare you for this. Mercedes is going to have to hang on to that TBS title to beat Jade Cargill's title reign. Because I don't see Tony Khan having Jade Cargill be the longest reigning champion if she's never coming back to AEW.
That makes sense. Sense.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
But I mean, that's a long way to go because Jade Cargill had that belt for a long time.
Girl had that belt since the inception, look like.
Yeah, she did. She was the first champion and didn't lose it till 500 days later? 400 days?
I thought.
Mercedes got a ways to go, so we'll see if she holds it.
We're going to see. They ain't got a pay-per-view. Well, they just had one, but, next one is what?
Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing's coming up pretty weak. 3-4 weeks from now.
Okay.
Man, the pay-per-views be close together.
Yeah, they're doing the pay-per-views every month now. Because before Dynasty's a new pay. Yeah, because Dynasty's new.
Yeah.
So before you have Revolution, before you have Revolution and then Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So then they added in Dynasty to fill in the gap.
Yeah, but I don't
think
don't they got 9 pay-per-views a year now?
I think so. But that's still damn near every month.
I mean,
yeah, that's got to be every month.
And then, of course, they have their specials, Grand Slam,
Yeah, they got
Fighter
those specials.
Fest.
Yeah.
And in fact, this Wednesday coming up is Spring Breaker. Big deal. AEW will be the longest running wrestling program on Turner Broadcast Network.
Oh, yeah.
They will.
They'll be in 83 weeks.
Yeah, but forget 83 weeks.
Yeah, the whole
Nitro was
company.
on top, number one. Yeah, the whole thing. Like, even just Nitro as a whole. They surpassed Nitro.
Yeah. I saw
Here we
Eric.
are.
I need to go back and watch that video. Eric, somebody was a post about that.
So what? That should be 6 years or 7?
Yeah, it'll be 6 years this year.
Jeez.
In fact, 6 years come Double or Nothing, because Double or Nothing is the first official AEW pay-per-view.
Right. That's
I'm saying,
like
dang, Nitro wasn't on 6 years.
Dude, Nitro started in what, 98? 96? No.
6,
I'll tell you what. I saw the first Nitro. I'll never forget the first Nitro.
That was at the Mall of America.
Yeah, Mall of America. That's when Luger debuted.
Crazy to hear though. I mean,
but listen, because we were watching it, so it felt like forever. Like when you add up the time that The Rock and Austin like really had in the wrestling, it was not long at all.
I mean, yeah, looking at Nitro started in 95. Remember, WCW went on in 2000. That's about 5 years.
It just seemed like forever because we were there.
Yeah, and man, we done seen them moments forever.
Because that's what, like I was saying, was Austin and The Rock in their prime. That was only it was a handful of years.
That was a very short period of time.
Very short.
Yeah.
In fact, Roman Reigns' title run, I think, was longer than that.
That's crazy. That's why everybody.
But the Austin and Rock, all that stuff seemed like it lasted forever because we were.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Like the Rock basically left WWE at like 30 years old. Like that was young.
Yeah.
He really started doing the Hollywood stuff early, and then he really became in and out of it as time went on too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Everybody praised that time, but like I said, it just wasn't long. That's like when they were talking about Brock, he was only, his first run was only 2 years.
But that's why I was saying, like, everything has a window to it. It feels long, but it's like you got that window. It's the window, man. So
man, that's something to think about.
Yeah, man. Look, man. Jordan accomplished so much in a 14-year span. It's taken LeBron 22 years just to even come close to it.
We are not having a LeBron MJ conversation right now.
I'm gonna send you this clip, BJ. It's so good. The guy was spot on, man, about the comparison between you probably know what is it Tony Kirkman? What is it? But anyway, he's with the I forgot what he goes to these colleges and debate people. And
yeah, it is Kirkland. Yeah,
he has this clip. The guy was
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk. He was like, yeah, Charlie Kirk. He came. So he was like LeBron or Jordan, and he broke it down really good. I was like, yeah, man, he's spitting right, man, because he was saying something like you're saying. It's taking LeBron all this time just to
be close. Still, you haven't surpassed him as far as like some of the accomplishments. He has not surpassed, dude. LeBron, I'm not going to do this.
I don't get me started on this. No.
Because, I mean, LeBron is a great player. Don't get me wrong. But there are still some things that Jordan has done LeBron still hasn't accomplished.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
14 years.
I'm not doing it. I'm not having it.
Okay, that's fine. Anything else on the docket?
I mean, we done covered it all, really, but I know we covered the Swerve and Booker T stuff. Me and you, yeah, Professor. I guess I'll get Sean take on that real quick before we end this.
Yeah.
What's your take on Swerve and Booker T situation right now?
Man, just like what I was saying in the chat, man. I mean, listen, the fans let you know exactly how it should be, because Swerve's last word should have been nothing about Booker T. It should have been everything about the company and what they did that night at that pay-per-view. That should have been the last thing that these people go home talking about. Instead, they go home talking about, well, Swerve said, F you, Booker T. You put more eyes back on, Booker T. Like, man, this guy is way outside of his prime. He has no intentions of doing anything in the ring right now. What he's doing is, in his way, giving back to the industry, right? In his way. He said that all he's done for Swerve was to put Swerve over, talk kind about Swerve, do all this stuff for Swerve, or talk about Swerve. He wants Swerve to do his thing in the ring, right? And then things get a little cloudy, get a little muddy, because you go on Vlad TV and you get caught up in the hype. You know, we as people, we're some emotional people. We get caught up on Vlad and we just want to let it all hang out. And Vlad cashed the bag at the end of the day. But where is that really getting you? Because the narrative is, you know, say what you want, but man, Swerve's kind of going down the same path. You're going to be the token black champ over there in AEW because, I mean, you lost to the guy. I mean, I can see if he won that night. And he walked out with the world title. But right now, you're back in the maybe a tag team division or something like that. I mean, I don't know, man. I think, you know, if we were going to do a comparison, because that's how I look at it, you know, there's no comparison. Booker T has a great, you know, standing in. He's notable in the industry, right? If it hadn't been for people like Booker T and others, we wouldn't have a Swerve to talk about. You know, so I just feel like it was pointless to go off and say, you know, oh, F Booker T or whatever like that. I mean, you could have said, like you say, the phone just doesn't work. Because I'm like, Booker T says he had a face-to-face conversation. I want to know what that conversation was like. I didn't see that clip. I don't know what the face-to-face conversation
He didn't really get into much of it. He
Yeah,
just said,
so-
I talked to Swerve, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, so I want to know what that conversation was like, because I haven't seen the clip to see what it was like. But that's how I think it should have been done. This man Swerve. I mean, you see the man, you know what the man is. Y'all have that face-to-face conversation if you felt slighted. You know, that's just how I see it. But I just think it's a bunch of, you know, pointless back and forth right now. So, but I do like how Booker T handled the second encounter. I do like that, and you know, you feel it was a little hypocritical. You know, at certain.
I feel like Booker T can be.
Okay.
That's all. Like, I feel like he can be because, you know, on commentary, when he was doing commentary on Monday Night Raw, he will be hypercritical of the black wrestlers as opposed to the white wrestlers a lot of the times. And it kind of got on my skin a little bit how he would be that way. I see this as a situation where Swerve, I think, still had a good message, but might not have been the right messenger. Because you're right, I don't like what he did at the end of Double Dynasty.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of empathize where he's coming from a standpoint of, Booker, you were in a position, like, let's remember where this all started. This all started because Swerve was asked a question about Booker T's talking about the N-word. And Swerve just gave his honest answer on that. Now, mind you, Vlad was baiting Swerve to say a few other things, but Swerve, if you watch the rest of the interview, he kept a pretty level head. It's just, he felt like Booker could have possibly handled that situation a lot different. Booker took it as, oh, you want me to be angry black man? It's not saying you have to be angry black man.
Right.
You could just be like, I
Because-
don't like this.
Because you know, we're supposed to be angry, right? We're supposed to be, you know,
But no one's saying that though.
Hear someone else of another persuasion say that, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind. But let's not forget that was Do-Rag Vince. Bobby Lashley was also around that same time period, because that's the reason why he put on the do-rag, because he lost his hair and he did the whole thing with Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley was there too.
But Bobby Lashley didn't get the N-word said near him. That's
He
the
just-
key thing. The
He just happened to be
N-word.
walking by, right?
Well, Booker, it was a
Backstage,
segment. It was a segment. So in the
And he's like,
segment, this was,
tell me he didn't just say that, right?
I know, but the thing is, it's a segment. So it's like, here's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
Here's what I'm going to say. And it's like, in that moment, what do? Do you just be like, oh, you're fine in saying that? Or do you be like, I don't think that'll be good?
I think, and this is just me, looking at it now, I think it was probably a callback to when Booker T said nigga to Hogan in that promo.
Yeah, but that was an accident. Even Booker T, you could tell he was remorseful in that. That wasn't intentional.
That was immediate.
This McMahon was intentional.
Booker T was like, oh my God, what did I just say?
Yeah, that's a different.
So, but I mean, like I said, and you guys said it too on the last show, like looking back at that, you know, I didn't think two ways of it, you know? I didn't think two ways of it. Like, you know, I didn't think that was, you know, a racist thing to do or whatever like that. But,
Well,
you know, I get where Swerve is coming from. And I also get where Booker T is coming from. Because, I mean, sometimes we can, as people, we can be a little emotional about that. We lead with our emotions versus just really having a conversation with somebody to see where they're really coming from.
But you know, the problem with that is that even trying to have a conversation, you get pushback on it. So it's even hard to have a conversation. Race is not an easy thing to talk about in wrestling. It isn't.
Yeah.
The reason why I said that we were okay or slightly okay with it, because from my mindset, as I said it before, wrestling in its own right is sort of racist. Like it just is. You, in the group chat you mentioned, you talked about how black kids didn't grow up wanting to be wrestlers because X, Y, and Z, but they grew up to be ball players. Well, that's because black people weren't presented in a great light to be a wrestler. Like, yeah, you have Booker T, and we were rooting for Booker T, but let's not forget, even in WCW, he didn't get the real push until Vince Russo showed up. And even those 5-time world title reigns, a lot of that came because the other top white guy they wanted was getting hurt, and they had to put the belt on someone. So it's like, even when we get those inches, it still is taking away yards.
And
real quick. One thing I just want to point out is wrestling bits. I want to mention this kid because he goes off on a tangent and he talks about how African NXT, as he calls it. He's saying WWE is flourishing with all this black talent in NXT. Not saying he's incorrect, but at the same time, isn't NXT considered developmental? So it's like we're only at our best in our weakest promotion. Like it's still a different dynamic in how black people are in wrestling in compared to any other sport.
Right. And I get that narrative too. I also see it from the standpoint as this is the future. So the gripe right now is that there's not enough representation of African Americans in the spotlight on a main card. So what do we do to fix that? Well, we go out and we recruit people that look just like you and I, and we hone those skills, and we start to create a ecosystem, so to speak, of this group of people that can now filter into where we want them to be in the main card. So basically we have a hub, right? So now we're recruiting people, talent that look like people that the demographic that we're now attracting, right? Or we've always been attracting. So now I think to have that type of group, so now you funnel it in, although it is a development thing, I still see it as it fitting under the same umbrella, WWE. So eventually they're going to get their way up to the main card. And then, like I said to you in the text message, I think we'll see what happens from there. But I think where Booker T is really coming from is that's the grind. What you just pointed out, that's the grind that Booker T had to go from. Because we know racism exists, but to Booker T, in my opinion, that's the grind. He had to be recognizable, or he had to be even a thought on somebody's mind to be even looked at, although those people were getting hurt. So had he not done what he done to get to that moment so they can look his way and say, hey, we do have Booker T over here, let's give him a try. So I think that's the grind. I think that's the grind Booker T's talking about.
But what's the difference between that and Swerve then? Because Swerve is going through that in AEW. And even then, taking it back to the other point, NXT, go to the main roster, we'll see, okay, you can have all this talent in a hub, but when they go to the main roster, it is a different story. WWE had Bobby Lashley, They had Shelton Benjamin, but they said, we don't know what to do with you. They had the Street Profits in a Hurts business. They don't know what to do with them. Carmelo Hayes came up the same time as Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton. Where is he in comparison to them?
I always say, where would Bobby Lashley have been if he never left? Right? Bobby Lashley, he did get hurt a lot too.
No, he only got hurt once. It wasn't a lot. He got hurt once. And even then, he had a match set for Mania, but his opponent got hurt. I'm going to show you this dynamic real quick. He had a match against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, but he got hurt. Remember, Bobby Lashley won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial. Randy Orton right now, his opponent is hurt. I wonder what's going to happen with Randy Orton. Is he going to get his match, or he's going to have to win the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial? What do you think is going to happen?
Are they still doing that battle royal?
On SmackDown, most likely.
The fact is that they had him, and they said we couldn't do anything with him, and they moved on.
That, but I'm saying Bobby Lashley did take a majority of his time. I mean, I remember Bobby Lashley being gone for a while. It wasn't like it was gone for like 3 months.
That's true, but he still went off and did great things, just like who did? Drew McIntyre did. Cody Rhodes did. And no one came back and did great things.
No one's saying
greater
about
things
going away and doing great things. That's not the argument. The argument is, I wonder what his would have been like if he just was there the whole duration. That's what I'm saying.
No, what I'm telling you, he wouldn't have done anything. That's what to answer that question, nothing. Remember, the Hurt Business was building and then they stopped it. That was an event. Triple H took over. The Hurt Business started to try to reform. And remember, they brought in the Street Profits and then it went stale. It was so much hot and cold. Bobby hated him. Bobby liked him. It was such an inconsistent story that they just stopped it. And it's like, I always wonder to myself, and this is what I really hate when they always tell black wrestlers, you need to step up. You need to do better. Well, it's wrestling, right? It's kind of predetermined entertainment. You are only as good as the pin writer. For Dominic Mysterio, no one cared about him when he was a Rey Mysterio under Vince McMahon. But do you know what changed Dominic Mysterio? A character dynamic change. His wrestling style hasn't changed. His demeanor, it's just his character's changed, and all of a sudden he's a star. Goes to show you the power of creative can make a person or break a person when given the right tools. You can do that with the Carmelo Hayes or Bobby or whoever.
I hear that too. But I also hear the stories, like for The Rock, for example. This guy didn't like the direction his character was going in. He felt like that wasn't him. What did he do? He went to the person with the pen and say, "Hey, give me a few minutes tonight."
So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna go back to Swerve. Swerve stated in the Vlad interview how he had trouble getting in touch with Triple H. This was at NXT. He tried to get in touch with him, like, how do I become one of your guys? How do I become a Triple H guy like Sheamus or whoever? He couldn't get in touch with him. Shawn Michaels took over because remember, Triple H had his heart condition and he had to step away. Shawn Michaels takes over. Guess what? Shawn Michaels had an open door and Swerve became the North American champion. Right. He gave high praise to Shawn Michaels, saying he listened. He told me what I needed to hone in on, and I became better at that. He even said later in an interview, one of the things that Paul White told Swerve was that what made John Cena a top star is that anytime Vince needed something, John was right there. Anytime the match was over, he went right up to Vince and said, what else you need me to do? And Swerve took that and is doing that with Tony Khan. As soon as the match over, I go right to Tony Khan, be like, what do you need me to do? He puts in the work. It's just whether or not you get recognized by the person who has the pen.
Yeah. And now, around that same time, the person with the pen was still with the big dog that had the pen too, because Vince was still rolling around too. So he may have, because he's not like Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is like a third layer away from Vince, right? This is his son-in-law, right? So he may, without even knowing it, maybe doing, I don't know what the dynamic was or whatever happened between his thought process of doing that. And then around that same time, after that, he did have a heart condition. So I don't know at what the time frame it was. Could have been a lot of stuff going on, but that's neither here nor there. But I want to go back to what I was saying about with The Rock. That's what I'm saying is that, and like you're saying about Swerve. So he's going up, asking the person, what do you need? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? Kind of like Cena. But so all I'm saying is The Rock took his character and say, hey, I don't like the way it's going. Give me 5 minutes. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, it does. So I think when Booker T says things like, or when people say, hey, they need to take, ownership or take a step forward to do what they need to do, I think that's what they're talking about. So, but I can't speak 100% to it because I ain't going up to the person with the pen. But what I can say is I think that's the narrative of what they mean by, taking ownership for where you are, the direction you are, and where you want to go.
Yeah, I get it, but you still gotta. It's still controlled by the individual. Like we talk about how flourishing NXT is. Well, NXT became that after 2.0. After 2.0, Vince took over at 2.0. This is when Braun Breaker was champion. At some point when Shawn Michaels took over, that's when you started seeing this wave of black talent taking over. So it's like, it really does depend on who is in control. Now, I will tell you right now, I think WWE and AEW as a whole have an issue with how they do represent some black people. Now, granted, Mania may be a lot different because we're probably going to get Street Profits and Kofi and the New Day and all them. That's fine. But look, just because you give me a few breadcrumbs, I'm not going to say I'm full. Like, I still want the rest of my meal.
And I think it's still developing, because I still stand by, that premise, man. Like, it's not like the NFL and the NBA, a lot of that's what they grow up, they want to be, Now there may be people in the Gen A's or whatever generation they call it now. There may be those people that's like, you know what? I see a Bianca Belair, I see Street Profits, I see Swerve, I see Bobby Lashley, I see these different people. Maybe I might not need to be a basketball player or a football player. Maybe I can actually try this thing out called wrestling and still have an affordable life or a good life as well. Because the contracts are different now. So, and they're going to the NIL program and all these different things like that, kind of like similar to college. So
I
I
know,
think,
but I hate
it's on
comparing it to real
I
sports.
think it's on an uptrend.
I hate comparing it to real sports because one thing about real sports is talent. You can't deny talent. Like, you can't write LeBron James out of a finals if he's going to go to a finals. Like, that's the reason I have an issue with comparing it to real sports. Yeah, you're gonna have a situation where you're going to see more black talent on the field because, I mean, they're just that talented. Like, I can't sit here and deny Luka Doncic's ability. Jokic looks like a guy at the YMCA, but you can't deny his ability.
Right.
Wrestling, you can. Shelton Benjamin is a great talent. Dolph Ziggler, both great talents, right? But I mean, how are they booked? Mid-carders. But we all could have said they'd be top world champions, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Cesaro, Rusev.
say that again.
What I'm saying is, in real sports, you can't deny real talent. Jokic, fat white guy, looks like he plays at a YMCA, but he's a 3-time MVP and a former champion.
Mhm.
However, you go to wrestling, you get a person like Shelton Benjamin, as an example. Even when he was the gold standard, many thought he could be world champion.
Mhm.
That guy was never even given that real opportunity. So it's like, it's hard to take advantage of opportunities when someone controls it. This is why I do want to talk with Jacoby, because, he's in the business, and I do wonder, how does that play? Because wrestling is predetermined. I can't ignore that. I can't be the most talented person in the world and expect to Ricochet, right? Ricochet floundered in WWE. He was just kind of getting by, but now in AEW, this is a real character. Like, I like this character.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they give him a character?
Would you put the house on Ricochet? Like everything, all the chips?
I mean, I would look. Okay, to answer the question, no. But at the same time, I wouldn't put the house on Tiffany Stratton, but they did that. I wouldn't put the house on Braun Breaker. And they did that.
That based off of the crowd, honestly. You know that.
The crowd is cheering for Ricochet. Crowd cheers for different people.
Would you put the house? Would you put everything,
No.
all the chips on? Oh boy.
Okay,
Ricochet.
I'll say this. I got to keep going to the past. No, I wouldn't. But let me give you a great example of this. WCW put all their chips in Hulk Hogan, but the crowd was also getting hyped for Disco Inferno. Like, the crowd cheers for different people throughout the course of a show. The crowd was excited for Rey Mysterio, but I ain't putting the house on him.
We can, but that's not a fair comparison because Hogan had already had his name. Name Hulk Hogan outside of that.
But you're asking me who I put the house on. My point in to put the house on is like,
put the house on Hogan.
But my point to that is, you are a main event star, but just because you're a main event star don't mean that other people aren't going to cheer for other folks. That's my point. Yeah. That's the point I'm making. So it's like, you can cheer for X, Y, and Z and still come to see A. Mm-hmm. I can cheer for 4, 5, and 6, but I still want to see number 1. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll cheer for you. I'll get excited, but we all came to see Roman. But we all love when Jey Uso comes out, but the crowd would chant for Roman. Like I said, last night, Swerve was the most over person. The Young Bucks couldn't get a word out because the crowd kept chanting whose house? Swerve's house. Mm-hmm. So it's like, the crowd loves Ricochet. Would I put the house on him? No, he ain't going to be in a main event, but the crowd likes him. Tony Storm may be the most over person, but Jon Moxley's the world champion. What am I supposed to make of this dynamic? I can say the same for WWE. Right now, again, Tiffany Stratton is the women's champion, but I bet 1,000 other people would like him for her to stay on EO or whoever else you can name on the roster. Jey, people like Gunther, but they want Jey to win. It's like, that's a weird dynamic to even go. That's why I don't like that question, is what I'm saying. I feel like it's a loaded question.
The black men talent in WWE, they deserve a shot. Because like I said, there's fans all over the world want certain people to be in better positions. And it's not hard to do so. That's point blank, there it is. It's not hard to put certain people in these positions, especially when they worked hard to do so and they have a following.
Yeah, no one's saying that they don't deserve a shot. No one's never said that. I mean, I just look at the totality of an individual. Like, well, that's what I was saying. Will we put the whole house on an individual? Like,
you don't have to put the whole house.
Don't put a whole house on it.
Give me a section of this house.
Yeah, you don't put a whole section. You don't put a whole section. You don't put a whole house on anyone.
All right.
Like, you just don't do that, because especially nowadays, like Roman or Cody, who they're both getting the main event. You don't put the house on one individually. You spread the wealth. That's the beauty about it, right? In this day and age of wrestling,
even with that, as good as that sound, I still think it's Roman over Cody. Honestly.
Okay, I hear you. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I mean,
but what I'm saying is they are the fact that you can kind of debate that though, right? That's still a thing. Like it's not definitive, but it's a point to be made.
Like, so, yeah, there's room for massive improvement, of course. And of course they need more shine, more representation, especially in the male division. And like I think it's in an uptrend. But some of the names that we're naming, I don't think I would have bet the whole house on them anyway. So
you keep saying the whole house, and it's like that is because it's a loaded statement.
All the more.
You ain't gonna put all the chips on Roman if you have Cody. You ain't gonna put all the chips on Cody if you have Roman. You're gonna spread the wealth. Because that's the thing I'm trying to make. Like you don't in this day and age of wrestling, you don't put the whole house on anyone. You just don't. Because I mean, you got a bunch of faces on the trucks.
They just put the whole house on Roman for the last 4 or 5 years.
But he don't want to doing stuff. He don't want to doing it. Seth is right there. Cody is right there. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn was right there.
And right,
Steph ain't making Roman money for real. Come on now.
It don't matter. They still in a prominent position on the card. That's all we saying. Put these black male talent in a prominent position on the card. They ain't got to be the main event WrestleMania every year.
Yeah,
they ain't what we asking for.
That.
We asking for
like world titles. Just like you said, prominent position. It ain't about world titles and being main events. It's just like a black guy hasn't been on a main event or pay-per-view in 600 plus days. Like that in itself, that's not put the house on anyone. That's like you can't get an opener match. That's a fair question.
All of it's fair. All of it's valid, So I think it's in an upward trend. So it's left up to see, Left up to see.
That's it. They got people right there ready. That's what we just saying. That's what most of our people, our culture is saying. We got people ready. Let's get the ball moving. And move it a little faster. We see you trying to do it, but let's move it a little faster.
But I don't know. Carmelo, I want to see Carmelo.
Right. Because that man did great things in NXT.
I mean,
he can do the main roster too.
We only see what we see on TV. So,
people
still got to be, we only see what we see on TV. We don't know what that person is like really to work with. How?
Oh, are you saying the black talent's hard to work with? You saying the black talent's?
I'm not even narrowing it down to. I mean, a lot of people say that Bray Wyatt should have had X, Y, and Z, but I mean,
you should have.
It's 2 sides.
But hey, he got the world title though.
Yeah,
2 sides to the story.
He had a prominent position. I mean, he had that at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just went all over the place, but a lot of times, but he still had his positions. He should have won certain matches, but it is what it is. But like I said, we just
I would never. I'm black myself, so I would never say that. That easy work with. So,
I know.
Yeah.
I guess my whole thing is I don't want this to be narrowed down to just a Swerve versus Booker T thing, because this really is just about the landscape of wrestling. That's what it really comes down to. That's what this is a clashing of. It's a clashing of generational idealism. Booker T's of an old generation where he sees it this way. Swerve's of a younger generation where he sees it that way. I remember as a kid, we would read about slavery, and all the black kids in the school was like, "Oh, they'll never beat me with a stick." Like, well, you say that now, but at the time it would be a lot different.
Yeah. And I mean, even at that stake, we didn't get the whole story about slavery anyway. It's still stuff you find out.
Yeah, I know, but it's just that it's a generational mindset. So that's why I empathize with Swerve is coming from, and I get where Booker T's coming from. It's just the one thing where Booker T says like black talent needs to step up. That's the part that irks me. I just don't like that. I think they are stepping up,
and I think that's that old school mentality. That's what I think it is.
And Booker T just took it further than it was in the interview. Booker T took it further than it was in the interview because Swerve just asked a question about what happened with the Vince and Booker T situation with the N-word, and he responded like anybody else would respond.
Yeah,
like he felt like Booker T maybe should have tried to help do something with creative and change that, or if not, then don't be a part of it.
But like to BJ's point, like a lot of us say, like I say now, I wouldn't have been no field Negro, right? But guess what? If I was back there in that time, I'm dark. Guess what I would have been? I would have been right out there in the field.
I don't know, but
That's fair, but I don't know if I would have been like, Vince, you could say the N-word. I don't know. He might have just had to find me on that. I don't know if I'd have been okay with that.
yeah, I had to find somebody else to do that. I would have just had cut me out of the situation.
Yeah, just don't put me in it. Do it with someone else.
We don't know the layers to it, you know. We only know what
but I mean, we go by what we see, and Swerve
yeah,
went by what he saw, just like all of us.
That's
we can
true.
say what we would say. We could say what we would have said, what we would have done. We don't know until we're in that situation.
That's fair, but I mean, the fact still stands that in the end of it, that interview isn't as bad as people make it out to be. And Swerve was actually pretty diplomatic. He was very diplomatic in that interview. The only flaw was Swerve doing the F Booker T after Dynasty.
Yeah.
That was a bit much. But, you know, prior to that, he was giving a full speech about how he is Black excellence and how he strives. There was a whole spiel he did right before the end of that wasn't shown.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about the internet. Unless you see everything in full context, you can only go by an inch.
You got to, because they only going to play their sound bites. We only going to hear what the ending of the message, right? What the ending was.
Yeah.
But the stuff is out there if you want it. Like that's the key thing.
My just to be clear, it's nothing against Swerve. Like, you know, I think he's a standout. I don't even remember him being in WWE, honestly. But
he was at NXT. He made it to the main roster, but he was released right at 2020 when they did the mass releases.
Yeah.
Right. So my premise behind that is that, you know, great what he's doing and everything like that. I just agree with what we're just talking about at the end. Like, that shouldn't have been the last thing they talked about at your pay-per-view. That's my thing. Yeah. The interview was cool. I don't think nothing was out of bounds there. And I think it's just two people's perspective that we're looking at. So,
yeah.
I feel like I wish we could have him on. Hey, come on this show. We do
I'm trying to
we do a sit down interview with both of them at the same time. Like, let's go. Champions Square Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Booker T, Swerve, and the mama and them. Bring them on. You know what
I'm saying?
We need to get Trick on the
show.
we
will Trick Williams soon. We'll get him soon.
Hey, Cargill is.
Let's start with there. South Carolinians.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man. I think that I honestly think that's it's in a good spot, upward trend. We'll see. If we're still talking about this 6, 5, 10 years from now.
Oh no, and we ain't that long. We went a year at the most. Year or two at the most.
I mean, you got
Trick, Oba,
you got Trick and
Oba are ready to come up. And Ricky Saints ain't too long for NXT.
Ricky Saints ain't black.
Yes,
though.
he is.
Ricky Saints is technically black, but you know what? Hey, bright side to all this, because the one side we don't talk about are the black women. They are getting their shine at least.
Of course, but that's why we continue to say black male talent. We just say black talent.
And that's like what I was telling you on the phone, BJ. Like, so it's a slippery slope because we live in a day in society where, you know, it's the feminist movement and all this stuff. So had they not, you know, so you ain't gonna win at all. So we gotta show female talent. We got to show, you know.
No, it's just that in the year 2025, I feel like we're talking about stuff that happened in 1965 and talking like it's 1985. Like, we're so far into the future, as he said, yet no matter how far you go, it still feels like there's so many steps to left. Like, you just...
Well, that's a testament to the society we live in, because it ain't just in these little conversations here. This is a totality of society as it is, you know. God forbid. I mean, every day you cut on the news, they swear we're going back to slavery. And I'm like, well, are we oppressed? I'm like, well, where is this at? Because I'm living mighty free down here. So.
Yeah, granted, I do give you that. There's no sense of oppression per se, but there is. And I mean, again, this is why I'm speaking specifically in wrestling. Because I mentioned in other sports, I don't think you can put those barriers in other sports. Like, again, you're not going to deny LeBron James. Like, if he's going to a finals, guess what you about to do? Get the hell out of the way and you're going to get to the final.
The difference is in those sports, you won't see any black owners. That's where the real money's at.
Well, Jordan was an owner. He sold his team. Bob Johnson was an owner.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson had stake in the Washington Commanders.
That's stake.
And the Dodgers. And well, most of these ownership groups have multiple people because it takes a lot to buy a team. Ask Donald Trump, who was unsuccessful twice at it. So yeah, there aren't a lot, but that's a different topic. That's a topic in which I want to title Black Power over Black Excellence. I think Black Excellence, that term, may be detrimental because excellence only celebrate a singular thing, while Black Power celebrates a whole. We need power, not excellence.
We need
That's
first of
another
all,
topic, though.
First of all, the dollar doesn't last long in our community, so we don't. It's just.
But that's that psychology of money. We lack
the whole.
money of psychology. What is it?
Yeah, we don't know the money game. So
money literacy.
Yeah.
Financial literacy. That's what we lack that.
Financial literacy, because Asian markets, they support theirs before they support anybody else. So,
But that's anyone.
Yeah.
Asian, white, Indian, Mexican, they all, dude, it's communal. Black people spend the most amount of money in this country, by the way.
We are.
That's why
We
they
have
said.
we have the most millionaires in Black culture than we ever had.
That's why they said
But we still got ghetto.
stop spending your dollars in certain places. That's why they bring that up all the time. So, because we spend the most money. But that's a whole different problem.
It is. That's a whole different thing. Seriously.
It's the Champions Corner Wrestling Podcast.
I'm here for it. I am here for it.
We need that business. We trying to get this business going right where we at right here. So, comment, subscribe. Comment, subscribe, so we get our business going, get that Black power going. So, but we appreciate you for being here. We love you. Hit the comments, hit the like button, do it on all platforms. Hit our merch shop, and we'll see you on the next show because we got WrestleMania coming up. We get our predictions in. Get ready for that. It's coming. It's coming. But we thank you for the number one player, the professor, Mr. BJ, me, Mr. Highlights, your favorite podcast host, Mr. Ron G. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
I ain't wanna know. Oh, no. Oh, 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 oh. Step into the ring, it's the Champions Corner time. WWE, and then we break it down. We shine from the top rope to the mat. All the action, all the heat. Champions Corner Podcast, where the real fans meet. Champions Corner Podcast.